You and I really haven't enjoyed a lot of the trailers for shows lately. Do we deserve better trailers? Maybe we're asking too much there. I don't know.
That's a good question. Great question, Royce. Love the question.
Krypton to Alderaan. Krypton to Alderaan. Krypton to Alderaan. Krypton to Alderaan.
Welcome, everyone, to Krypton to Alderaan. I'm Joey, your Star Wars lover, and with me is Royish Goodlooks, your Star Wars song guy.
Hello, Joey. Hello, podcast.
Hello there, and we are the podcast that analyzes nerdy pop culture stuff, but it's mostly Star Wars, and today is no exception because we got two trailers in a vast expanse of space where no Star Wars stuff is happening. We get two trailers in 1 week. So this episode, we're discussing the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer and the Visions Volume 3 trailer. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss our hot, cold, tepid takes. Ready? Punch it. I don't know if we punch it anymore. So yeah, this past week, we got two trailers.
Count them,
Royce.
2 trailers.
2. 1 and 2.
I thought there wasn't supposed to be any Star Wars coming out. Star Wars was
Yeah,
dead,
right?
I heard.
We have been misled and in turn have misled others.
One of these trailers I think might be a little better than the other, maybe got me a little bit more stoked than the other. I will leave that breadcrumb to be revealed for later, but I would love to know from you then, what do you think of maybe the Mando trailer versus Visions? Is there one you're more excited for?
That's my reaction. Is that a good reaction?
Perfect.
I don't know how far down we lead the listeners down this path.
Stay tuned for more.
Yeah, right after this.
This is just the trailer for our reaction.
Yeah. We're going to spend an hour talking about a minute and 20 seconds worth of content. But there's definitely one that gets me more excited. It's probably not a surprise to anyone, to you or anyone listening. I'm honestly curious about yours, if yours will be a surprise. I'm glad we didn't discuss this beforehand. I'll just come right out and say it. Visions by far, by like light years, parsecs, much more exciting to me than Mando. There's so much wrapped up in Mando for me. I think for one, my review of Mando Season 3 is that it let me down, so there's some baggage there. Visions has never let me down except for Tatooine Rhapsody, and that's way in the past. I think the trailer was also just better. I think the Visions trailer was just like better and more epic and had Star Wars music in it, which not everything always has to, but like that music was pretty epic. There were characters that we know that are coming back. There was just a lot of exciting stuff. Mando... So I was just on Galactic Core podcast. Go check it out. I was in one of Andy's last episodes before his hiatus. And we were talking about like how excited we are for future Star Wars products. And Mando was one of them. And we, like Andy, I think asked the question of like, do we think that this is just going to be season 4 or is it going to be like a cinematic event? And I said that I was hopeful it would be a cinematic event ushering in, the new cinematic universe that they're building with the Imperial Remnant. But it just looks like season 4. This is a super unfair take because we don't know anything except for this 1 minute of footage, but it just did not excite me. I turned to a trailer to get stoked, not super stoked.
I understand. Yeah, I love that point that you brought up. And I watched that episode you did with Galactic Core. And yeah, is it season 3 or a cinematic event? Is it gonna feel like a film? Like, is this a blockbuster film? Or just more of the TV show? We talked about the first episode of season 1 of The Bad Batch being like longer and feeling kind of cinematic. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it if it does feel like it's just a continuation of the show, because that's what it is at the end of the day, Sure. It's kind of interesting that we live in this era where we get so much streaming content, and now we're like going to blur the lines between a premium streaming series and a film, right? What's the difference? They put out films on streaming as well. I watch most new movies on streaming, not in the theater. So there's kind of a blurred line there, but I do agree that it would be nice if it felt like it was going to tie in with Ahsoka and Thrawn and like build towards something and not just be a little adventure like season 4 might have been. But that's also what we love about The Mandalorian, or at least me. They're fun adventures. And if you're lucky, You get the big world building stuff with like, let's take back Mandalore, let's like fight the Empire, and maybe there's cloning and other crazy stuff going on. But really, you just want to see some like butts kicked and, you know, some pew pews and cute Baby Yoda moments, which is basically what the trailer was. Or, let's be honest, like trailer, it wasn't really a trailer. It was just a couple of scenes. I love the idea of teaser and trailer. Trailer to me is like, you're getting a picture for what you can expect from the film. We don't know really what to expect other than we're just making stuff up. I just saw a couple of cool scenes.
There's so much more newness in Visions. Like, I'm excited to see what's new, right? There's a lot of new stuff. Even with characters we already know that are coming back in Visions Volume 3, there's new stories to tell. And like, this Mando story is going to be a new story. It just didn't look as fun or as epic as the Visions trailer looked. It's kind of funny that these two trailers came out at the same time. I know, like, it's so hard to compare because it's obviously such different vibes and different properties. In terms of like what personally got me more excited, it's Visions by far. And yeah, coming off of season 3, which wasn't my favorite season of Mandalorian, but the ending of season 3, thinking that we were going to kind of usher in a new era of the Mandalorian, because they find their farm and it like zooms in on Baby Yoda with the frog by the lake. And to me, that was them saying, okay, we're putting this stuff to rest and it's time for the next chapter. And maybe this is what that will be, but it looks like a lot of the same to me.
The knee-jerk reaction is to go to these dark places of like, I don't know, not good enough in this minute and a half.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the problems is in just the way we format trailers, right? We could talk just about the meta way that trailers are produced nowadays. As soon as it opens up, it does the right? It has all the cliche trailer things, short shot, long black crossfade, next shot. So it's just kind of sparse, right? And it leaves you to speculate. I love that we're seeing that rebel base, the rebel bar there. I'm hoping that does mean there's more to the story than just like cute little adventures. Who knows? But yeah, the opposite side of that with Visions, it's like action-packed scene, action-packed scene, action-packed scene. Like that one pulled no punches, or it pulled all the punches. That one didn't give you
whatever the correct phrase is.
It didn't give you a moment to catch your breath at the very least, right? You know, that's pretty powerful. And I did think the music was amazing in the Visions trailer. That was a great montage of all of your favorite Star Wars music. You know, it was a little bit of everything. But still, the Mandalorian theme, like that's still Star Wars music. So at least the Mando trailer didn't have, you know, just generic trailer music or like a real world pop song in the background. Like the Mando theme is great. I think that holds its own in the Star Wars pantheon of music. I guess I can now reveal my true thoughts if they haven't already kind of been bubbling to the surface, but I'm kind of with you that Visions, the trailer, got me more stoked, right? And I love Mando. It's not that like Mando sucks and Visions is better or whatever. Two totally different properties. But as far as trailers go, like, yeah, holy cow, there's going to be so much in Visions that I'm excited for. Mando, I would like to see more before I'm like totally singing its praises. But who are we kidding? We're going to go watch both anyway.
I mean, yeah, we're going to be opening night. We're going to be at Mandalorian and Grogu. So it doesn't really matter. But it does matter because the promotional material makes a difference. I think especially for me, like coming off of season 3, I wasn't expecting much, but I like didn't have any expectations of, oh, maybe we'll see Thrawn or maybe we'll see Ahsoka in the trailer or something. I knew we were going to see Sigourney Weaver. She's like a rebel leader. We get her 2 seconds and she's pulling a bowl of nuts away from Baby Yoda. I love the action shot with Zeb. I'm excited to see Zeb in live action. That's cool. He does like his classic yell in that scene that we get to see him fighting. There's some cool stuff in the trailer for sure. And I'm excited to see the new Razor Crest, and it's got some yellow on it, and that's super dope. And so there's some really cool stuff in there. But the Visions trailer just got me more hyped. And like similarly to what you're saying about like not putting a real world pop song in the trailer, we had said with Skeleton Crew, the marketing was all over the place. Every like niche they could put that show in, they put that show in from a marketing perspective. And what they're doing with The Mandalorian and Grogu feels a little disconnected for me at this moment. I love the pulp stuff. I love the pulpiness of it. The like title card And the poster, the design of the poster kind of drives me nuts.
Add more things.
There's 10,000
More!
things on that poster. But if you look at like the old pulpy posters, they kind of look that way. But this has like everything in the movie is on that poster. We're not talking about the poster here.
Which show had the better poster? Comment below.
There's just some stuff going on with that level of production that's kind of disconnecting me from The Mandalorian and Grogu. And like the more that I'm talking this out with you right now, the more that it seems like maybe it is leftover baggage from season 3. We're just going to go see it anyway, and it's going to be good. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau haven't let me down yet, except for season 3. So we just have to go and see.
I think it's a good question of like, what would you have wanted to see out of a trailer? I think it's just kind of an impossible thing to answer for every single fan, right? Like some people are loving it, some people aren't, some people are in between. And, you know, if we're comparing this with Visions, like I said, Visions doesn't give you a moment to catch your breath. And it's 9 episodes, right? So maybe it's just more stuff in general and they showed you a little bit of everything. Mando maybe didn't show us a little bit of everything because it's just a teaser for a movie that they have to get you to go and see. So there's a longer build towards how they're going to market that. But it is interesting, like, you're introducing us to the film, though. Like, this is a first impression, and so you got to get that right. You can't get it perfect for everybody, but, you know, you and I really haven't enjoyed a lot of the trailers for shows lately. Maybe not just movies, but, like, for the shows, it's been kind of hard to be like, the trailer feels like it's not for me, but should it be for me? Should I selfishly want the trailer to be awesome for me? I'm going to watch the show anyway. I'm going to love the show. Right. Like, regardless of the trailer, do we deserve better trailers? That's like, maybe we're asking too much there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Great question, Royce. Love the question. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like trailer quality overall has gone down, not just Disney, Star Wars, just in general. And sometimes they're cut together really awkwardly. And there are some really awkward moments and cuts, I think, for me in the Mandalorian trailer.
When he's fighting those robots, there's one where he's starting to run towards a robot, and then it immediately cuts, he's on the other side of the screen. That's a super tiny, small gripe, but like you're saying, kind of odd.
Yeah, and I think the cut where they're at the Hutt wrestling arena, and it just like cuts to Din saying, impressive, and Grogu crunching on a piece of candy or whatever, is also just a weird cut. It's the only dialogue in the trailer. The mix was like he was just louder than everything else in every scene that he was in.
Look at you commenting on the audio mixing. My boy, I'm glad you brought up the dialogue, though. Like, there's the impressive line, there's Yoda doing his little cackling, and they played up Yoda or Grogu, because everybody loves Grogu. Like, that was a moment in time with Mando season 1 of, like, Baby Yoda fever, right? So that's going to be crucial here. His name's in the darn title, even though, like, it's too bad he isn't Baby Yoda, or, you know, Yoda Jr. or whatever, like, that it's not his actual lineage, because that would be even better for the marketing.
The only way to make the title worse than it is right now is for it to be called The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
That's so good. But, okay, so I do want to talk about the title. I loved with The Last Jedi, we got dialogue from Luke that was like, it's time for the Jedi to end. And then, of course, it's called The Last Jedi.
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Maybe your favorite Star Wars, maybe not, but that as a trailer moment is like, whoa, now I have to see this. Like, Luke wants the Jedi to end. It's called The Last Jedi. Is he the last Jedi? Like, this is insane. But Mando and Grogu, there's no dialogue, right? And there's no subtitle. There's no title as far as I'm concerned at all, really. It's The Mandalorian Grogu movie. No, duh. Like, just call every movie the Star Wars movie. You know, the one with droids, the one with the main character that we didn't do a backstory on yet. Come on. I think it would have been ideal if they had a line of dialogue that maybe did sort of hint towards, like, something is happening out in the Outer Rim and we got to find out. Something there. And if not this trailer, maybe the next. Because again, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a teaser. There's no plot. We're expecting a lot. But yeah, what do you think about that? Having no dialogue, or the dialogue that was there is just kind of like cheesy for laughs, and then no title. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do have thoughts on that. Thank you for asking. Love the question, Royce. I would have loved like a gotcha or a hook moment in the trailer of a line of dialogue. And I think like we're being harsh and we're going to eat our words. The next trailer there is something that comes out. The one line of dialogue being that weird clip where they're at the arena and it's just like impressive. I don't know.
Good shot, baby.
There's
was
no
the
hook.
last line of the trailer.
Yeah, and then the little Anzellan.
It's cute. I love it.
It's cutesy.
Yeah.
It's very cutesy. It's a cutesy trailer. And if it was like The Mandalorian and Grogu and the Temple of Doom or the Rat in the Sewer or whatever, that pulpy aspect is missing from it, right? It's just The Mandalorian and Grogu. And so, yeah, so to me, I guess that's a really great way to put it. Love the question, Royce. The great way to put it is there's no hook in the trailer for me. There's no hook. I know the show.
Right.
The trailer is a series of scenes from the TV show, which I already know. And so there's no extra hook. Like the AT-ATs would have been a great hook, but we know that there's an Imperial remnant. The Hutt, Buff Hutt, not really a hook for me. Sigourney Weaver, nothing really happens, not really a hook. I mean, I love Sigourney Weaver. She is a hook in and of herself. But there's no actionable, there's no call to action in the trailer.
Interesting.
And that is what disconnects for me. In Visions, Volume 3, we see a lot from a lot of the different episodes that are going to come out. There's lots of hooks. There's the woman with like the appendages that are also lightsabers. There's, again, the connection to characters from the past, but the next chapter of their story that we're seeing like action in or, you know, calls to action in. And so there's just so much more of a hook in those, plus the idea of it being something new. So the hook is there for me. The hook was not there for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Maybe if these two trailers hadn't come out at exactly the same time, I would feel differently. But that being said, I did watch The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer and immediately was like, okay. I watched the Visions trailer and was immediately like, I'm watching that again. 100%. I'm going to watch that.
Wow.
And I might go back and watch Visions. You know, so those are the opposing forces there. And hey, I love Star Wars animation. It's my jam. So I'm predisposed to that anyway. I genuinely wish that I was more excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu. And I really genuinely wish that I didn't have to say The Mandalorian and Grogu.
It's hard. It really is hard to say that. There is so much, like I watched the Vision trailer 3 times, but it's so fast paced that, yeah, I got to go back and watch it again to pick more stuff out. Obviously we've beat up on The Mandalorian, but
Yeah.
maybe we can celebrate Visions a little bit on the tail end of this. I clicked on the non-English version originally.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I think I want to hear this in English. But that reminded me that like, oh, there's multiple versions of this that exist. And then even in the English dub trailer, you still have the, you know, they have the English text and the other
Japanese.
language text up above. You are a little more of a connoisseur of anime, or much more really than me, like the translation aspect of that. What do you think about that?
I do. I love anime. I'm in my anime era. And I think that's also like what is connecting me to Visions more than Mando, to the extent that an animated series can be more accessible, which it's the most accessible thing. Go watch more animated stuff, everyone out there. I always watch the subtitle. I watch the sub, not the dub. What I love, part of like the behind the scenes of Visions to me that makes Visions so special is that so many people's like dreams in my mind came true by being able to work on this show. 9 animation studios got like a knock on the door saying, do you want to make a Star Wars? I've talked about that before on Krypton Alderaan. But then also you have the Japanese voice actors who get to play a role. You have the English voice actors who get to play a role. So you're already like enveloping all of these people to create this thing that everyone is super excited to create. And I know you can say the same thing for The Mandalorian and Grogu, but there's just something so special that every year, every couple of years, new studios are making their version of Star Wars. Very specific people who grew up loving the thing get to make these animated Star Wars, and that they've just been excellent. The one trailer got me excited, Royce, and one trailer didn't get me all that excited. And whether it's because I'm like predisposed to being excited about animation more so than live action, or whether it's a burden from season 3.
Yeah, this is another flag planted in the animation, hill for me. Like a big old flag. I'm planting it right now. Animation hasn't really let me down. The more I watch it, the more I love it.
Word.
And yeah, live action can be kind of hit or miss. But also, Visions comes out in 1 month. So maybe they needed the banger trailer. And Mando and Grogu comes out several months from now, half of a year from now. And so they're going to trickle that out more and more. And maybe, ideally, we'll get more excited the closer it gets, the more that is revealed. So listeners, we want to know, how did you feel about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer and the Visions Season 3 trailer? Which got you more excited? Let us know down in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe and tune in next time for more nerdy pop culture, but mostly Star Wars in our Bad Batch reviews. Thanks for tuning into the show today. I've been Royce.
I've been Dark Side Ray.
And we've been Krypton
to
Alderaan.
I don't know, Malachor, some dark side planet, because we went dark side today.
Krypton